Hey everybody, we're doing a bit of I won't really say an unboxing, but a component overview and a little bit of a bling demonstration of the game Dead Men Tell No Tales. Y'all have seen us playing it on Tabletop Simulator, so I was going to show you what the actual board game looks like. I've actually got it arrayed out here on the desk in front of me. Well, not the desk, the table in front of me where we've got it laid out in the ship was in the configuration of where it was during the last whenever Mindfiend and I lost the game that I just finished putting up. This is what the ship looked like. So there you are. We're going to come down here and look at the player stuff first, as you see. Y'all are familiar with this, the player stuff. I was the Cobalt Callan, Cobalt Fallen, whatever their name was, right there, who is represented by the blue pirate meeple. Represented by the blue, isn't that so cute? Look at the little pirate with the little sword and all, the little blue pirate meeple. And here is the game board. It's got the battle track along the bottom here, got the fatigue dial up here. And to aid you in knowing which meeple to use, they're all color-coded on the back, which is really nice. He's color-coded, or I think that's a him. Color-coded is the light blue. And over here you get to Jade, who is color-coded with the green. So that's why Jade has got the green meeple out here. Got the rest of the boards and the pirate cards over here with all the other different pirates on them. And as you see, yes, I do sleeve my cards, especially in the games like this where you do a lot of shuffling. And this one, this game, Pandemic, Mage Knight, what have I got? Oh, over here behind me to my right, the Legendary Encounters Aliens. Yeah, any game that does a lot of shuffling, especially, I will sleeve the cards. Not just for protection, but just because the card sleeves make it so much easier to shuffle, Really does. Okay, so you see there, the other change, I guess, from the version that's on Tabletop Sim is here you have a dial and got a marker in the middle, a dial arm, a pointer that you scroll around to show. I actually kind of prefer the little pawn. I think if I was actually getting a game going here, I would probably maybe use a pawn on the board to help keep track of. It's just a little easier to read. I think one of the few problems with the game is that they should have made the little marker there a little bit easier. I mean, it looks really nice. It looks like an aged piece of iron, but maybe if it was just more of a black color, darker color, so you could read it against the dial there a little bit better. And as you see, the action point markers look just like the ones. You got the doubloons shiny on one side and singed on the other side for when you burn your points. Very nice. Down here we got the explosion tracker. You got the dinghy, you got the little treasures, you got the explosion tracker here with the marker, which we ended up on 5, of course, as we said, should have been on 7 because we had a room that blew up ahead of time and a barrel that blew up that we didn't realize. That we didn't count, because this room right here should actually be sitting on a 3, and if that was a 3, this barrel right there would blow up. Here's one of the ways I blinged it out. As you can see here, we've got a little barrel meeple. This is from Clans of Caledonia. The Clans of Caledonia game that I have actually has these little barrels in it that work superbly on the map to point out where the barrel markers are. It's one of the problems in the game. Minor problem, but a problem in that when the barrels blow, they don't, the game doesn't come with these. They just come with that. So, like, for instance, let's say this hits a 3 and the barrel blows. They tell you to put the die on the barrel instead of in the middle. From now on, you put the die in the barrel there to show that the barrel has exploded. But if you reduce the fire to 0, you take the dice off, and then you got a problem. How do you determine? How do you show? One of the things they say is to use one of the unused character markers and put over it in that case, which is possible. It's a bit of a kludge. So it is nice to have the little barrel markers here of some sort. I said these come from Clans of Caledonia, and it comes with about 10 or 12 of them, I think, in that game. So that's perfect number for the board here. And of course, there's plenty of places like Top Shelf Games and things like that, or Her Starts, where you can get like barrel miniatures and stuff to use. The other really nice thing about it is look at these dice. You know, all the fire dice out there. I'll zoom in on them. As you see, they're actually translucent. They're all kind of singed and smoky. They got a wonderful look to them. So much nicer than just bright yellow or bright red dice. I mean, they look really nice. They look really nice and appropriate out there on the board as it is. Really adds to the theme there. The only other thing, I guess, like I said, this room here really shouldn't be there. This is the one that should have blown up earlier. When this one exploded, that one? Yeah, I think when that one exploded, you know, this one was also at a 5 at that particular time, and we didn't realize it. We were so excited because this was our first room to explode that we didn't realize that one had exploded also. So there you are. Like I said, there's the pirate. Those are the things. This is what the marker. We had one room left that we hadn't thrown down yet. I did make a mistake. I said I thought that the game had individual backs for all the rooms that kind of matched. The explosion matched what was in the room to start with, but no, they're all the same back, the same works of art. Okay, so at this point we will talk a little bit. As you see, we were setting up for a bad disaster because if we had drawn something, if the game had continued, let's draw this card that I've pre-selected. See here, we got a red and yellow 3. Okay, we had drawn that. Look at here. You know, it's one of those push your luck kind of things because we got 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, a 3, 3, 3, a 3, a 3, a 3, a 3. About 75–80% of the board would have flipped over to a 4 then, and we would have been in big trouble. You know, it's that push your luck. It's like, okay, I've got my pirate here, and I can go 1, 2, 3. You know, I don't have to burn any fatigue moving them. But the downside of that is you draw a card, and suddenly the whole board changes states on you. Not good. See, I love the little deckhand meeples. Aren't they just gorgeous? The little wooden meeples, the little wooden deckhands with the silk screened eye patch and everything. Beautiful, beautiful. All right, so you see what the game looks like. I am going to, at this point, oh, and here's the bag, by the way. You know, we reach in, it comes with a little velveteen bag too, so that when you pick a room, you reach in and you pull out, you know, a random thing. In this case, a 3 pirate, a 3 crew with a 4 grog in it. All right, I'm going to show you here just a second how I've been blinging it up a little bit. We've already seen the little barrels that I use whenever they're not being used in Clans of Caledonia. And we'll show you what else we can do. This is the Piratology, the game, apparently based on a book called Piratology. I don't know how good a game it is. It's got like a 4 point something rating on Board Game Geek, which is kind of like having a rotten rating on Rotten Tomatoes. I'll have to see. I think it's primarily got a lot of roll and move and that sort of thing with it. So I don't know exactly how good the game is, but I didn't actually buy it for the game, but because of what actually comes inside of it. And here we are with it blinged up a little bit. One of the things is that it's got these nice colorful pirate miniatures that come with Piratology there. Now, one of the things is that the Dead Men Tell No Tales has the Kraken Kickstarter, and it has the Kraken with its tentacles, the miniature and all. The other thing is that you can buy optional miniatures, which I've already put on my pledge, for pirate models for each one of the pirates here in the Dead Men game. So it's like instead of a green meeple over here, you've actually got a miniature jade. So I'm looking forward to that. That's going to be fun. But until then, And if I don't feel like painting them right away, we do have these miniatures that come. And if you don't feel like getting the Kraken, you can buy this. Like I said, it's like $20 on Amazon, and you've got colorful pirate miniatures. It's got some really nice ships back here too. I don't know what I'd use them for right now, but I'm sure I'll find a point for them for something. One of the other things is that you've got these dice. As you see, they are skull dice, the golden skull dice. I'm assuming this is like, let's see, that's a 5, a 4, a 1, a 3, a 2, and I suppose this is a 6. I don't know if I'd actually use them for dice because I'd be curious what their actual, because of the carvings and the shapes and all, what their actual accuracy is. But they make really, really good stand-ins for treasure chests right now, for all of the different pirate treasure chests. So it's like, yes, until I can get, like I said, I've looked around. I'm thinking about getting her starts. I've got several her starts molds. I used to be a lot more into Dungeons and Dragons than I am right now. Back in third edition, I was pretty heavy into D&D. I have almost all the third edition books and all. And I've got about a dozen and a half her starts molds up there, the silicone molds that you use to cast your own dungeon terrain. And one of the new ones that they have has got chests and crates and barrels and treasure chests and all, and I'm thinking about getting that. But until then, these work wonderfully as a representation for the treasure. And then finally, the big piece here in the middle, the big skull with the hole in the side, full of doubloons. I mean, look at there, so many of them. So you got these doubloons here. Oops, got two stuck together there. Got these doubloons. It's got the coin marking on one side. It's got a skull and on the other. So it's got a good representation of, good and bad. So, and they're almost the exact same size as the ones that come with the game. So you got that. Flip it over to use it. I'm thinking about a little brown black wash. To age them and singe them like these here, covered like a little dark wash on the skull side, and the next thing you know, you've got really nice markers. So there you go. The components of Dead Men Tell No Tales and a really nice and cheap way of blinging it out just a little bit. So I appreciate y'all coming along. Hope you enjoyed it, and we'll see you next time. Bye bye.